The strong Black woman myth is bankrupting us. Why softness is the real strategy for breaking generational curses. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Today, I need to share something with you that came from a conversation with Nastasha Lownes, a woman whose work is literally reshaping how we think about success, healing, and what it truly means to break generational curses. Nastasha is helping Black women see that the armor we've been praised for wearing, the strong Black woman cape we've carried for generations, is actually bankrupting us spiritually, emotionally, and financially. She's calling us into something radically different, something that challenges everything we've been taught about strength. And her insights are so necessary, so urgent that I knew I had to bring them to you here. So let me start with a question that might make you uncomfortable. How many of you have been told your entire life that strength means never breaking? That to be a Black woman is to be unshakable, to hold everyone up, to never complain, never rest, never ask for help? We've been conditioned to believe that softness is weakness, that if we slow down, if we say no, if we choose healing over hustle, we're somehow failing, we're somehow less than. But what if I told you that everything we've been taught about strength is actually the very thing keeping us stuck? What if the cape we've been wearing is not a badge of honor, but a survival mechanism? And what if that survival mechanism is costing us everything? Nastasha brought this truth to light in a way that stopped me cold. She said the strong Black woman archetype, the one we've been celebrated for embodying, is not empowerment, it's trauma response. And it's costing us our peace. It's costing us our health. It's costing us our joy. And here's the part that really shook me to my core: it's costing us financially too. Because when we build businesses, careers, and lives on top of unhealed trauma, on top of people pleasing and overextending ourselves, we cannot hold what we're praying for. We cannot sustain the success we're working ourselves to death to create. I need you to sit with that for a moment, because this is not just about feeling better. This is not about self care Sundays and bubble baths. This is about breaking cycles. This is about building legacies that don't require our daughters to carry the same burdens we did. And Nastasha's perspective is that stepping into a softer, faith led, healed version of ourselves is not weakness, it is strategy. It is the infrastructure that allows us to hold the blessings, the businesses, the breakthroughs we've been asking God for. Let me give you some context, because this is so much bigger than one woman's story. Right now, in this very moment, Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs in the United States. 17% of Black women are in the process of starting or running new businesses. That's higher than white women, higher than white men. We are leading the charge. We are building empires from our kitchen tables, our living rooms, our faith, and our grit. But here's what the data also shows, and this is where it gets painful. At the exact same time that we're leading in entrepreneurship, Black women are being pushed out of traditional employment at alarming rates. We're losing jobs in education, in healthcare, in community roles, the very sectors we've been overrepresented in for generations. We're earning about 60 cents for every dollar a white man makes. And when we do start businesses, when we take that leap of faith, we receive just 0.3% of venture capital funding. 0.3%. So, what does that tell us? It tells us we're being forced into a corner. But it also tells us something else, something Nastasha wants us to really hear. It tells us that maybe, just maybe, God is using this season of exits, breakdowns, and redirections to call us into something different. Not just entrepreneurship for the sake of survival, but entrepreneurship as a vehicle for healing, for breaking generational curses, for building businesses and careers that honor our health, our faith, and our humanity, not just our productivity. And this is where Nastasha's insight becomes so critical, so necessary. She challenges us to ask, what if this moment, this season where so many of us are being laid off, pushed out, or choosing to walk away is actually an invitation? An invitation to stop replicating the same systems that harmed us. An invitation to build something softer, something more sustainable, something rooted in faith and healing instead of hustle and proving. Let me tell you about Melissa Butler, because her story is the embodiment of this truth. Melissa is a Black woman from Detroit who founded the Lip Bar, a vegan inclusive cosmetics brand, while she was working on Wall Street. She built the company around the belief that beauty should not be rooted in Eurocentric standards or toxic ingredients. She wanted to create bold, inclusive shades for women who never saw themselves in mainstream campaigns. And she did it, starting in her Brooklyn kitchen, mixing lipstick by hand, one shade at a time. But here's the thing, Melissa went on Shark Tank. She stood on that stage, vulnerable, hopeful, ready to share her vision with the world. And she was rejected. And on national television, investors told her that her business would fail. They dismissed her vision, they dismissed her. And for a lot of people, that would have been the end. That would have been the moment they gave up, put the dream away, went back to playing small. But Melissa did something different. She stayed rooted in her vision. She stayed rooted in her values. She didn't conform to what the industry said she should be. She didn't harden herself after that rejection. She didn't try to become someone else to fit their mold. She leaned deeper into who she was. She leveraged community, social media, grassroots marketing. She built a loyal customer base, one person at a time. And today, the Lip Bar is sold in thousands of Target and Walmart stores nationwide. Melissa turned rejection into redirection. She turned public humiliation into a brand story of resilience, authenticity, and Black women defining beauty on their own terms. And what I want you to hear in that story is this: softness, self belief, authenticity. Those are not liabilities, they are strategies. They are the very things that carried her through. They are the very things that will carry you through. Now, let's talk about what's happening on a larger scale, because Melissa's story is not isolated. It's part of a movement. Historically, Black women have been overrepresented in caregiving and service roles. We've been the backbone of the care economy. We've been teachers, nurses, social workers, community organizers. We've been the ones holding everything together while being underpaid, underpromoted, and overworked. The pandemic intensified this, economic shifts intensified this. And many of us reached a breaking point, but instead of just breaking, we pivoted. We turned to entrepreneurship, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary, because we refused to keep sacrificing our health for a paycheck, because we wanted flexibility, autonomy, alignment with our values and our families. And the data reflects this shift. In the United States, women founded 49% of new businesses in 2024, up from 29% in 2019. And Black women are a major driver of that growth. But here's what Nastasha wants us to understand. And this is the part that'll change everything if you really hear it. This is not just about starting businesses, this is about how we build them. Because if we take the same survival mentality, the same trauma responses, the same people pleasing and overextending into our businesses, we're just recreating the systems that harmed us. We're just building new cages. We're just trading one form of bondage for another. And that's why healing is not separate from business. Healing is the infrastructure, it's what allows you to set boundaries with clients who want to drain you. It's what allows you to price your services based on your value, not your fear of rejection. It's what allows you to say no to opportunities that don't align with your peace. It's what allows you to build something that doesn't require you to burn out to sustain it. Let me give you another example because this is happening right now in real time. The California Black Women's Collective Empowerment Institute released a report called the 2025 State of Black Women in California. And what they found was sobering, painful, and necessary. Black women make up only 6.6% of California's female population, but they are overrepresented in poverty, housing instability, and health disparities. They earn about 60 cents for every dollar paid to white men. Many spend half their income on housing or childcare. Despite being called the backbone of the care economy, they remain underpaid and underpromoted, bearing emotional and economic burdens that echo generational patterns of overwork and underrecognition. But here's what the collective did that was so powerful. They didn't just release data and walk away, they moved from data to action. They launched programs like She Works California, the Holly J. Mitchell Girls Empowerment Leadership Institute, and Supporting Our Sisters. These programs build skills, confidence, and access to jobs and leadership opportunities for Black women. But they also do something else, something revolutionary. They create space for healing. They affirm Black women's worth. They treat well being and empowerment as infrastructure for economic progress, not an afterthought. And that is the shift Nastasha is calling us into. She's calling us to see that our faith and our business are not separate lanes. The same God who walked us through death, drugs, abuse, and family dysfunction wants to sit at the strategy table with us, guiding our offers, our partnerships, our pricing, our pivots. So we're not just making money, we're breaking patterns. Now, I want to bring this home because Nastasha left me with three key insights, and I need you to walk away with them too. First, softness is a strategy, not a liability. Choosing healing, rest, boundaries, and faith led decision making is not you falling behind. It is you refusing to build success on burnout, trauma responses, and people pleasing. It is you saying, I will not sacrifice my peace for productivity. I will not sacrifice my health for a title. I will not sacrifice my joy for approval. Second, your faith and your business are not separate lanes. God is not just interested in your Sunday morning worship. God is interested in your Monday morning meetings, your pricing strategy, your client boundaries, your rest, your healing. And when you invite God into every area of your life, including your work, you stop building on your own strength and you start building on His. Third, Black women's exits in entrepreneurship are a warning sign and an invitation. The data shows we are being pushed out of stable work, even as we lead in new business creation. This is not just a crisis, it is also a call to build businesses, careers, and legacies that honor our health, our faith, and our humanity, not just our productivity. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stop right now and ask yourself this question. What generational pattern, whether it's survival hustling, silence about trauma, choosing work that drains you, or carrying everyone's burdens but your own, are you willing to let die so that God can birth something new through you? And I don't want you to just think about it, I want you to act on it. This week, choose one concrete action that reflects that decision. Set a boundary you've been avoiding. Take a healing step, whether that's therapy, prayer, journaling, or a hard conversation. Make a faith led move in your business or career that says, the curse stops here with me. Because the truth is, softness is not weakness, healing is not optional, and your faith is not separate from your strategy. You are not behind, you are not too late, you are not disqualified by what you've survived. You are exactly where God needs you to be to break what was never meant to follow you. The cape is off, the healing has begun, and the legacy you're building, it's going to change everything.